Pages and Pods presents According to Luke by Rudolf Steiner, The Birth of the Nathanic Jesus and the Solomonic Jesus. In this episode, we will look at how Rudolf Steiner traces spiritual individuality in the cosmic realm. In particular, we will examine Steiner's discussion about how the influence of the Buddha and Zarathustra were brought into the world through the birth of two individual children named Jesus. To understand Steiner's explanation, I will discuss how the physical, astral, and etheric bodies, along with the I, navigate the cycles of existence. Steiner explains that a human being is composed of four essential aspects: the physical body, the ether body, the astral body, and the I. A human being develops these aspects during each life cycle, and, after death, these aspects individually re-enter material existence. The astral body is the seat of emotions, desires, and consciousness, bridging the physical and spiritual realms. It is a dynamic, living form of energy that connects the human being to the cosmos and enables experiences such as dreaming and sensation. After death, the astral body separates from the physical and etheric bodies and transitions into the spiritual realms. It enters the soul world, or Kamaloka, where the individual processes earthly experiences and releases attachments to the physical plane. The ether body is the source of vitality and growth, animating the physical body with life-sustaining forces. It is closely connected to the physical body and responds to nature and rhythms, such as sleep and wake cycles, and serves as a bridge between the material and spiritual worlds, enabling physical regeneration. After death, the etheric body begins to separate from the physical body and gradually dissolves. According to Steiner, it lingers for a short time, during which the individual experiences a panoramic review of their life before dispersing into the cosmic ether. The physical body is passed down through generations via the sexual union of human beings, making it possible to trace its lineage. For example, the physical body of Jesus, as commonly associated with Christianity, is said to trace back to King David of Jerusalem through his father Joseph. This process is known as inheritance. The I is connected to earlier incarnations, but unlike the physical body, it isn't tied to family lineage or specific historical eras. The I represents the eternal individual self or spiritual essence that persists through incarnations. It is the divine spark within, enabling self-awareness, moral development, and the potential for union with higher spiritual realms. In his book, Rudolf Steiner introduces us to two distinct infants named Jesus. According to the Gospel of Luke, one Jesus is born to Mary in Nazareth. This Jesus descends from Nathan, the son of King David, and is associated with the priestly lineage. Steiner refers to him as the Nathanic Jesus. In the Gospel of Matthew, another Jesus is born to Mary and Joseph, this time in Bethlehem. This Jesus traces his physical lineage to King Solomon, representing the royal lineage. Steiner identifies him as the Solomonic Jesus. The Gospel of Luke tells us that the Nathanic Jesus was born in the city of Nazareth to a couple named Joseph and Mary. Steiner says that by reading the Akashic Record, we learn that the apparition who spoke to the shepherds was the transfigured Buddha, who was also represented by the halo around the child's head. Steiner refers to this aspect of the Buddha as the Nirmanakaya, and appeared as an angelic host. It flowed into the maternal etheric body of the Nathanic Jesus and stayed within it until the age of 12. Steiner teaches that a mother imparts a portion of her etheric body to her child during gestation and early life. This etheric support remains with the child until around the age of 12, when the child's own etheric body fully develops. In the case of Nathanic Jesus, the spiritual essence of the Buddha, the Nirmanakaya, entered into the etheric body imparted to her son, where it nurtured harmony and compassion in the child. The Nirmanakaya is the essence of the Buddha, whose enlightenment came from the spiritual development of generations of bodhisattvas incarnating through time. With each incarnation, they learned more lessons about the nature of humanity and its destiny. The Buddha had manifested as various bodhisattvas throughout history, extending back to the era of Atlantis and even further to Lemuria. Once an individuality is prepared to become a bodhisattva, the non-material aspects of its being remain partially connected to the spiritual realm rather than fully incarnating into a physical body. The Buddha individuality fully incarnates only in its final earthly existence, when the cycle of reincarnation is no longer necessary. That final incarnation was the Buddha. The son of Mary and Joseph, described in the Gospel of Matthew, is referred to as the Solomonic Jesus, born in Bethlehem, fulfilling the prophecy of the Messiah's birthplace. His birth was marked by the appearance of a bright star, which led the Magi, traditionally described as 3 wise men, to visit and offer gifts. Also, the spiritual individuality of Zarathustra incarnated into the Solomonic Jesus from birth, which prompted the visitation of the Magi. King Herod, perceiving the child as a threat to his throne, ordered the massacre of all male children aged 2 and under in Bethlehem and its vicinity. To protect Jesus, Joseph takes Mary and the infant to Egypt, where they will remain until Herod's death. Upon return, they settle in Nazareth. While in Egypt, the individuality of Jesus was able to reconnect with the spiritual essence of Zarathustra that had been left behind in the mysteries of Hermes Trismegistus. Both the Solomonic Jesus and the Nathanic Jesus lived in Nazareth during their childhood. The Solomonic Jesus dies around the age of 12, at which point the individuality of Zarathustra departs from his body and enters the Nathanic Jesus. Zarathustra's powerful spiritual essence merges with the Nathanic Jesus, enriching his soul with the accumulated wisdom and strength of Zarathustra, while retaining the purity and compassion inherent to the Nathanic Jesus. After the death of the Solomonic Joseph, the Nathanic Joseph takes the Solomonic Mary and her children, Jacob, Joseph, Judas, and Simon, into his household. Shortly afterward, the mother of the Nathanic Jesus passes away, leaving a blended family. This creates a unique household: the Nathanic Joseph, the Solomonic Mary, her sons, and the Nathanic Jesus, who now embodies the compassion and mercy of the Buddha combined with the strength and wisdom of Zarathustra, preparing him for his role as the bearer of the Christ being. This concludes my discussion about the Solomonic Jesus and Nathanic Jesus as described by Rudolf Steiner in his book According to Luke. If you like this podcast, click the like button and subscribe to my channel, Pages and Pots.